All right, let's crack in.
I think that's a good idea.
Welcome everybody of 2026.
It was a start of the year.
Yeah, it's not, but
We
It's
needed
better
a
than
break. We needed a break.
you're
I
allowed to
needed
have a
one.
break. Everyone's allowed to have a break. Would you believe that Temora Independent didn't print for a month, or the best part thereof? There was a heap of weeks there that they didn't.
Yeah,
yes,
right. Well,
they're off
that's unique. I would
They're
have
off
thought
for
that was
weeks
a
and
thing.
weeks. Yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, my name's Anthony. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council, among a lot of other things. But the views I express here aren't those of Temora Shire Council. They're those of me, my views and my views only. So they're not the views of Temora Shire Council. So don't get it confused. And even I might try some really lame jokes. So don't take it the wrong way. There could be some sarcasm. There could be some satire.
Could they?
So just be careful how you take things and just don't.
Offence is taken, not given. Don't be a bitch.
So yeah, like I say, so just put your.
You're more generous than I am in that space.
And
If
if
you're
you-
going to be offended, you can fucking take your crying to a crying cupboard.
And if you don't like it, swipe to another.
Go to a different program, go to a different channel. I really couldn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
And I'm Dean McRae, and I'm not a member of Temora Shire Council, although I do seem to live in the electorate and, like everybody else, have to pay ridiculous rates to people who I really don't have an awful lot of time for as an entity goes. And my opinions are all my own opinions. I try to be as factual as possible. If I'm talking vague terms, they're vague terms. If I'm talking accurate numbers, I've generally got the numbers in front of me or I've researched it pretty hard. Otherwise, I'll generally put in there roundabout. I like to be there. And if we're ever caught sort of coming out with anything that's proven to be untrue or inaccurate, we tend to try to rectify that as quickly as possible, publicly and accountably, because that's what we do.
Primarily, the existence of this program is to combat misinformation.
Yes,
and to enlighten the community and to bring some matters before the community that the community may not know of.
That's very true. But
so in that role, we certainly endeavour to be as accurate as we possibly can. And if we do accidentally or
things happen, life happens.
And sometimes you can even misread something and then misrepresent it. But generally, we try and be as accurate as we possibly can. And if anyone picks out anything that they have any particular issue with, by all means, contact us and we will do everything in our power to correct it.
Without a doubt. And there's the comment section here, and I love when people get in there and use it. It's always cool. I've got only one rule as far as the commenting goes. If you want to be a nasty arsehole, make sure you do it under your real name and your real profile. If you've got the balls to do that, being a nasty arsehole, I will still share it. If you just jump in there in some ridiculous pseudonym, I'm not doing it up your ass. Otherwise, everybody else, I love it when you comment and put your forwards. If I can show it, I will. Sometimes it gets a little hectic and you can only sort of flash them up for seconds, but we do love that little bit of interaction, and you are welcome to interact. We've got nothing to hide here. So, how's your week been? Where are we at? What do we need to get done?
Would you believe, in a groundbreaking move at Temora Shire Council this week, I attended the first meeting ever live streamed from Temora Shire Council.
It's happened.
So there was an Asset and Operations Committee meeting that occurred on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Tuesday just gone, and it was live streamed.
Excellent. How did it go?
The meeting was okay, but the live streaming
result bit sus.
Well, I've got a little bit of it here. We can perhaps
showcase, show off,
go to it, and see what you guys think. Now, in order to access this, all you do is you go on Temora Shire Council's website, you go to council meetings, there'll be a link through to the live stream, and this is what you'll see. So they've got some sort of a all-seeing, all-doing camera that can do multiple different shots. But
well, that's the Zoom feature. That's yes. How that works. Yeah.
But the resolution is pretty ordinary, obviously, due to the bandwidth. But I think the biggest disappointment from my perspective is probably the audio quality.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'll give you a bit of a run of it.
Yeah. Well, that audio is terrible. We haven't got any.
No. I've got to get this thing to work.
like all good socialists.
Right.
In motorsport, want to know that there's a couple of errors that were identified in just like typos in the policy before it goes to other transmissions. Those will be changed. So you'll notice at the top it says function engineering. That should say environmental services. Policy number says G3. It should say PR10. So
That's one individual talking.
Yeah.
I guess enforce the policy on flight traffic.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I think everything else is pretty clear except for that. It's when the council had the appetite to say, well.
Can you understand that?
I've got to listen awfully carefully, so you don't get to just kind of tune in and go along for the ride. We try to make that a thing for our viewers so that it's as clear and concise as humanly possible. Look, first go. Hopefully they go back. Evaluate
Well,
the relatively rough result there, because we have the odd audio malfunction. We have the odd.
yes, but the quality of our audio is far and away miles and miles and miles
Better
better
than that, for sure.
I reckon it sounds like this.
Exit blocked by explosion for a length of at least 1,000 kilometers.
I don't know whether they got the equipment off the BBC that was left over from old Doctor Who productions.
It's a bit rough, isn't it? Yeah.
It's pretty ordinary, but it's fairly similar to that. Now, there is a piece of equipment that I might recommend that might be able to help them. Now, have a look at this thing. Cast your eye over this, and I'm telling you, it's an interesting looking piece of equipment.
Right.
Now, Rain Professional Audio, it's a pseudo-acoustic infector.
Right. Okay.
Now, it's got a DAT master, and it's got a button for power and glory. It's got some pre-drive controls at the this level and at that level.
Yeah.
A lot of that frequencies you can select the that frequency that you want to target with this.
Yep.
Pan here or there.
So, are you recommending that these clowns fucking implement this? Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
This might be the answer to their audio problems. It might be the cure.
Yeah. Right.
They've got an ecstasy level. So I think this type of thing could be helpful. They've got a good description, and
Although, I mean, I know our audio sometimes fucks out and does silly things, but realistically, we've got to be.
but look at this list of things.
I'm sure the budget of any Shire council in Australia has the capabilities.
But this piece of equipment, I think, could be the answer.
Could be.
Like it's got independent power and glory switches, which I've just pointed out. Continuously variable, that level.
An ecstasy generator.
Yes, a full function ecstasy generator. It's got an anti-resonant concrete chassis. So it's made out of concrete.
It's hard call.
Time warp compression expansion to synchronise the here-there time coordinates. It's probably something that the doctor could have used in the Daleks as well.
Time warp compression.
Yes.
This is some serious business.
Yeah.
Some serious business.
It's got like when you look at the specifications here, and the features and specifications are quite
sex switchable.
Yeah, it's
for fuck's sake.
Yeah. The crossover alignment's rinkled slowly, and it's a 4th grade state penitentiary. Maximum level 11, and it's on a spinal tap taper. So
Jesus Christ.
Sonic purity A1 gives good tone.
Good tone.
Yeah. RFI filters, yes, stupid question. On-off transient muting, sometimes really stupid question. So they're the specifications. I really do think something like that could probably solve the problems that
that you're facing currently out of councils.
The audio, yeah.
Well, I could solve it by abolishing all councils Australia-wide.
Well,
that'd get it done.
There's such a thing in the local government sector. If you're not performing as a council, the minister has got the option to issue you with a performance improvement order.
Yeah.
Now, I think as things go on, and the minister might review, like if council can't resolve these issues, the minister might have to modify that performance improvement order and maybe make it a production improvement order and issue that and say, look, you're falling down.
You're falling down.
It's unwatchable and no one can understand the audio.
Which is the idea, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
Well, it's an interesting thing I saw pop up on the socials during the week. And it appears that there's been some correspondence sent from the Office of Local Government
Your mates.
about a performance improvement order. And it's been issued to, according to this, dear Mayor, that's blacked out.
There's no shortage of redacted documents floating around the world at the moment.
I refer to my conversation with you this
redact that.
afternoon about serving a notice of intention to issue a performance improvement order on Snowy Monero Regional Council.
Yeah.
But I think,
From what we've seen, that's a complete shit show up there. Am I wrong?
well, but I think when you actually dig into this, the notice of intention to issue the performance improvement order was actually issued to Shoalhaven Council.
Yeah, right.
And I think they've
Just fluffed it.
cut and pasted a
A bit like when they sent, Michael Torch's segments out of our program to bugger his day up that he's never been on our program.
well, that was a code of conduct investigator who actually sent parts of an investigation involving myself
Yeah.
and an investigation report ended up in an investigation report dealing with Mr. Ticehurst at Lithgow. So here we are, we've got the Office of Local Government issuing some pretty heavy paperwork
Well, they're
to
gangsters.
a council,
Very serious.
but it appears they haven't even got the name of the council correct.
Doesn't surprise me one iota.
Well,
These people couldn't run a bath, and we keep electing them, we keep allowing them, we keep voting them in, we keep sort of, allowing them to exist in this exalted position that for some unfucking known to me reason seems to be permeating every part of life where we feel like we've got to beg for permission from far inferior humans more often than not. And I don't mean more inferior as in, lesser people, but as in people who are certainly not superior to you. They are not superior to you or you or you.
but
What-
even don't you
Like,
think?
why are we begging and praying to these fucking, not only are they mere mortals, many of them are mere jackasses.
Well, there's a level of incompetence.
It's built into the system. It's designed to be incompetently driven.
And it's hard to take it serious when you're getting letters of such gravity and they haven't got the.
I got a letter of gravity from some idiot the other week. I just threw it in the bin.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to read it. I don't care.
Yes.
I do not answer to you clowns.
Yes.
I don't know who you were. Who was this? No, in the bin. I don't fucking care.
Yes.
Feel free to come to the house and we'll have a conversation, see how that goes. I'm not fucking interested.
Hmm.
Like these people who, they throw around big terms, they like to bully and intimidate and scare the piss out of people. They hold no jurisdiction other than in our minds.
Well,
Who are they? Fuck off.
in some respects that may be the case, but also in other respects, there's a situation where the Office of Local Government, for example, could target a councillor. They can bring allegations to them. They can issue departmental reports or draft departmental reports. They can cause the individual to go to great lengths and great expense to put forward submissions, and then they can issue whatever findings they want to find, and they can basically kick them out of being a councillor.
Yep.
But all of their costs are met, all of their time is paid. The whole process is basically
It's funded by the ratepayer
on their side.
Yeah. While the poor councillor who may not be,
But the councillor's getting paid peanuts to do virtually in New South Wales. The remuneration for councillors is tokenistic at best.
Yeah.
I've often said I'd be quite happy to leave mine in the council if it was going to get used for something worthwhile.
well,
And
my reality or my view on the whole shit show is any council that's not in genuine surplus, every councillor should not be paid.
Well,
if you are in a
if you
deficit
read- if you read the Local Government Act and the obligations on councillors are responsible for the financial performance of the council.
yes. And
So-
if you
So
can't
putting your
manage the
hand out-
budget,
yes, putting
to
your
make
hand
it
out for a
fucking
check,
work-
if it's losing money on a regular basis and consistently,
yeah.
and poor performance is a feature of the operation in terms of its financially,
Yeah.
then
Speaking of that, has there been any developments on the movie theatre down the road there? Have they worked out how to make a spin $1 out of that yet? I know we talked about it last year. They sort of were
no, I think the
going
last time
backwards to
the
the tune
last
of
time
about
we
30
spoke
grand
about
for
it,
the year or something.
and I raised the issue with the person in charge at council, they basically threw it off onto the quality of the film as being released by Hollywood.
Well, there's a bit of an argument for that now. Before I even get started on Hollywood being a bunch of satanic pedophilic cunts, they can't even produce good movies anymore. That's how fucking hopeless they are. I sat down last Sunday. I had this very unusual experience for me. I didn't have any workbook of any capacity.
Yeah, right. Day off.
Nothing. I didn't have a fucking thing that was booked in. I had a whole day. And I went, you know what? Maybe we'll have a look and we'll see what movies are available and we'll take the whole fam bam and we'll go to a movie. We might go
Yeah,
dinner, whatever.
day off.
And then I decided to have a bit of a look at what movies were showing. And I couldn't fucking find one that I thought would interest all of us, let alone some of us. The Nazi, the current one out with Russell Crowe, Nuremberg. I wouldn't mind watching that, but I'm pretty sure the rest of the kids had been asleep within minutes.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm going to have some people who are going to go, oh, yeah, but you should make them watch it so they understand. Listen, they get enough education of
And
this
they'll
sort of
watch it
stuff.
when they're
You know?
good and ready.
That's right. They're not going to.
No, you're not going to spoil
They're
it.
not gonna sit there
forcing
for-
them to watch something they don't really feel like watching.
And something they really don't understand and that they're going to need explaining all the way through. We do that at different times. But there wasn't just a good, solid action there, a good, solid, fun family movie. There was just diddly fucking squat.
A lot of it's moved over to the Netflix production
Oh, absolutely.
side of things. So you don't see the Netflix movies at the picture theatre.
No.
They're not on general release. So there's a whole lot of product coming out of that Netflix studio, and they've sort of
Netflix stand all these different
but
independent
they've secured
studios.
a lot of high profile actors.
Yeah.
And they're basically producing them in house. So
It's certainly a different model, but I can understand that as part of an argument to say I can say as a potential consumer who would have been quite happy to, rather than go
Well, if
over
that's
to
the
the
case-
August cinema.
But if that's the case, if it's losing money consistently and the prospect of getting better movies is low,
Well-
then what are you going to do?
Well, the question then, and we've said it, do you privatise it? Do you find better viewing? How do you do it? I don't understand. I'm not tuned right into the licensing laws in these sort of things.
I just don't
But-
get it. I don't get it. Anyway, that's how it is. If it's, you'll recall the media release that was printed by the Temora Independent, and it came out of Temora Shire Council, and they were introducing the concept, basically preparing the community for the discussions around a special rate variation.
Yes. They're going to
Now,
steal more money
A
because they
special
can't
rate
run a budget.
variation
Yes.
never goes cheaper.
No.
So they're going to put, they're discussing options to put rates up.
And
they're gonna put
how
rate-
far they can
yes.
push it before people start jamming them with pitchforks.
But wouldn't it be better to cut the loss-making elements out of council balance sheet first?
None of them know how to do that. Not one government on the planet knows how to go, you know what?
Yes, but
Cut.
But this local government has been, for the last 20 years, it's been inserting itself into our lives and encroaching into areas that haven't traditionally been local government areas, like running a picture theatre.
Yes, or running a gym for a staff member.
Yes, running a gym at the local rec centre. Stuff like that. Quite often councils would provide some space and a private operator might lease that space.
Yeah, for sure.
But in this particular instance, council have bought the equipment and they're paying the staff and they're running the gym. Now, I'd like to see the financials on that. a breakdown.
Surely, if anybody's got access to them, you're going to be able to get access
Well,
to
I
them.
haven't seen a report that comes, and if it comes, the report will be holistically over the whole centre, and it won't be broken down into its.
No, yeah.
So you can't.
We've pissed this amount up the wall here,
Well-
we've pissed this amount up the wall here, but over here we've kind of done something useful that we can justify.
Well, we don't know. Anyway, that's part of the. That's part of the real frustrations that councillors feel, because we can't get timely and accurate, in-depth figures, but yet we're legally responsible for the financial performance of council.
Yes.
So, anyway, long story short,
That's all, we've got at least an hour to go.
but council have spent 20 years basically moving into areas that weren't traditionally council's remit.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming quite expensive, and council can't actually fund it out of their rate incomes and the grant incomes that they get. So now they're going to turn around and they're going to say, you need to pay us more money to do all these things for you that we never used to do.
That a large portion of us don't want them to do and have no interest in patronising.
Well, that's probably where we need to have this discussion. So realistically,
there are what,
take-
2-3 private gyms in town, so
But-
council has no business running any of them.
but even if you consider, when you look at the councillors, most of the councillors could afford higher rates when you look at them.
Well, where they're at in life, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When you look at the individual, so you look at the mayor, for example. Now, the mayor has got his own menswear clothing business. He gets paid X amount what he gets paid for being the mayor, plus he picks up pay for other jobs he does.
Yeah.
He's got no dependents. He's only got himself to run.
And he doesn't come from financially struggling stock.
No. So his mum and dad are quite financially secure, from what I understand. I've never seen.
To the best of our knowledge, relative to how the world works.
So it wouldn't worry him if he had to pay more rates, particularly when he's picking it up at the other end.
That's right.
Nigel Judd, who's been he is actually the longest serving councillor in New South Wales. Now, Nigel, again, at the end of his career, and I don't imagine I think Nigel owns the Area Park Post Office in his superannuation fund, I think.
Yeah. I don't know that.
I know that Nigel's got an interest in it. I know his daughter Lyndall runs it.
Yeah.
So Nigel's got land holdings. He's got land.
He's doing well. He's done well for himself in life. He's built up some businesses or some enterprise, and he's probably pretty secure.
He could afford more rates. We've got Councillor Paul Mann, who used to be a partner.
He was quite a business tycoon, Paul, in his day, for sure.
Fuel distribution business, among other interests. So,
And well done. Good job.
yeah,
A grade.
So you'd imagine he could probably afford, you go through all the councillors and most of them wouldn't buckle. Like Councillor Hawken, for example.
Yeah.
Now, Councillor Hawken's got a job with the Education Department.
Yeah.
Right? And that'd be a reasonably good paying job.
Imagine.
Councillor Hawken, again, my understanding is that he's a single male with no dependents.
Yeah.
So if you're receiving remuneration at a rate, a professional rate from the Education Department in a higher role than a teacher, you're going to be going okay.
You should be going okay, yeah.
So you could probably afford it. But think about people who are on minimum wage or fixed income. So someone who's on job seeker or some sort of employment benefits, or someone who's on a pension.
Yeah.
Now, council gets a special rate variation, and that allows council to put their rates up. And if they're going to go for these things, they often go for a significant amount. Sometimes it's 50%.
Oh,
over.
yeah.
It could go up. Yeah, it could go up 20%, 20%, and 10% over a 3-year period.
That's what pitchforks are for.
To achieve an increase, a worthwhile increase. Otherwise, because it's such an onerous task to apply for these things.
They want to do it once. They want to rape everybody good, hard, and aggressively in one foul swoop.
But these individuals on fixed income can't put in for a special fixed income variation.
No, you don't get a pay rise in line with any of this.
No.
You either need to get another job.
Well, but if
or
you're on a
move
pension and you
30,
can't get
30
another job,
Yeah.
like if you're on, like I say, if you're just an age pensioner or
You need to go and sell illegal cigarettes to be able to, potentially cover the difference.
I don't know, like they haven't got the ability.
That's a business idea for anyone who's interested.
There's people in the community who have got zero disposable income,
Yeah.
and they are just flat out meeting the costs of their day to day.
Absolutely.
and then you go and put a massive increase on in their rates, and it's going to buckle someone.
And let me tell you, it's not without design. Now, I have no doubt that the knuckleheads in our council think it's a good idea, and the LGA think it's a good idea. I don't think they're in on the big picture. I just think that they're too fucking stupid and too fucking greedy to be able to manage a budget that involves, I don't know, cutting costs and cutting waste, but it's all a part of the managed decline of this country and the
Well,
Western world.
but
It
But
is
It's at the top. So you've got the NDIS, which pretty much Australia. It's a wonderful idea,
wonderful idea, but like all wonderful ideas, it's rorted rape pillage.
but also
You've
Australia's struggling to afford it.
Australia's going to be bad. It's going to be that. Will be one of the
Yeah.
key areas that bankrupts this country. Will be the NDIS.
If you go and
It'll
have a
be the
look
public sector.
at Victoria, Victoria's on a list, and it is in the developed world. It is one of the most indebted.
Yes. It's not an accident. They are doing this deliberately. They've got the entire joint leverage to the hilt. You know, the latest rate increases, interest rate increases.
Yes.
That's going to hurt. So the people who are treading water at the upper echelons of the middle class, so your high pressure tradies and, you know, argue for argument's sake, guy running a plumbing business, his missus is a school teacher, they're going all right, but they've gone, you know what, we really want that dream house. We've got our business. Let's leverage it. Let's get stuck in and go. That extra, you know, what is it? In some cases, $600-700 a month.
Mm.
They've got to find extra.
Mm.
So relative to where they are in life, that's still going to hurt.
Mm.
Then you look at people who have bought a home that they could probably only just afford
That's
at
what
the
I mean.
very
You've got-
at the entry level
They've got
homeowners.
in at the bottom of the pricing, at the absolute.
Just got in so they can be a homeowner and hold
upper
on
limit.
for dear life.
Yeah, so they're not paying rent.
So they don't have to pay rent because they want to own something, and they've found a little shit box somewhere and they've gone
And
put
they're
everything into it.
They're in for 30 years.
Yep, and they're just holding on because they want to own their own home. This is where that breaks them out.
Yes.
And we discussed it a little bit last week. What's going to happen is when they break out, who's going to be able to afford them? Maybe those guys up there are going to be able to afford them, but they're trading down in a big, big way. And if nobody's from there's coming up to buy those houses, those banks, those private equity funds, fucking idiotic Albo and his dickhead mates will go, oh, we'll come in for 5%. Look at us go. So, and they are obsessed with removing private ownership. They're talking about they want private ownership removed. They don't want you owning cars. They don't want you owning. That's why they want to put kill switches in all these cars so they control where you go, when you're allowed to go.
Mm.
Same thing with the housing. They want you to be endless, lifelong renters.
They love the idea of technology. They love the idea of the World Wide Web so that they can basically say, oh, well, we don't want you going over there this weekend. Click.
They're already rolling it out. Why do you think they put these smart meters in people's electricity in your house? Oh, we're going to put a smart meter in. You don't have a choice. We have to put it in. Why do you have to put it in? Because when you're using too much fucking electricity, Albo or whichever corrupt shonky dickhead is in charge at the time goes, right, we're using too much power. Turn off their aircon. They're not suffering enough. Turn off the aircon in the middle of a Aussie summer. See, it's climate change. No, it's you dickheads.
Well,
And then you do the opposite in winter when
the
everybody's
interest rates-
freezing.
The increase in the interest rates, or this inflation that caused the increase in interest rates, is fundamentally caused by excess government spending.
Of course, it's not fundamentally. That's exactly what's causing it. Excess government spending. These people from local councils up to our idiot fucking overlords in federal parliament and every step in between are thieving parasites who spend other people's money at a rate of knots, and they're completely insulated from any consequences.
And they struggle to take responsibility for some of their decisions.
That's because they're not their decisions. They can always palm it off to a fucking investigator or a panel or a committee, or we got in an expert who gave us a report on writing reports so that we can have another expert come in and analyse said report for 80 grand a year. And that analyst said that report was okay and therefore we should do it. I didn't make the decision. I just presented the report.
Yes.
It's all complete dodging accountability at every fucking level, and it's hurting people in real time. You know, there was an article the other day, Wagga's it's got more homeless than it's ever had. I can't remember what the numbers were that they said that's going on over there in Wagga, but that Wilkes Park, it's filling up 100 mile an hour, and the biggest argument there is, well, where do we move them to? We don't want them there. They've got nowhere to go. They can't afford rent. There's nothing to rent. They can't afford houses, nowhere to live. They're sort of buggered. And then they turn around and go, fuck, we're going to have 9 million people living in Melbourne by 2050. Our birth rate in Australia is declining at a rapid rate. So where are they getting 9 million people from? There's, what, 3.5 there now? I know you go to Victoria a little bit more than I do. So if you've got 3.5 million people in a city and you've got a plan of, in a handful of decades, a couple of decades, pushing that number by over double, where are those people coming from when the birth rate's declining? So how is it that, how does it happen? They're going to have to import all these motherfuckers to make that happen. And if they're aiming for that and they've announced that for Melbourne, they're not going to not announce it for fucking, Sydney, Adelaide. They're going to do it everywhere. But they like to do it in Victoria because they've got such a compliant little shit show communist bunch of assholes down there. But you turn around and you're looking at it and they're rolling out this plan. It's mass destruction of the country. It's going to ruin us. They've just announced our fucking power prices are going up 20%.
Yeah.
So people are going to be choosing between their mortgage, rent, or fuck, we can't. Don't worry about turning off the kill switch. We can't afford to have the power on. We're broke.
But throw a special rate variation
On top.
So you
Because it's
interest rate increases, power price increases, special rate variation. There's massive cost inflation.
Thanks, Spencer. Well said.
Massive cost inflation throughout the whole economy.
That's very kind. And Fred's in here. Young home buyers have saved for a deposit are having to then contribute for future footpathing or gutters, etc., for approximately 5. Yeah, exactly. And don't worry about that $5,000, mate. It'll be 10 in 6 months' time. It'll be 20 because money's just bullshit they print out of thin air.
But this is the thing: the whole relationship between income and housing prices has diverged, and it started diverging about 20 years ago. But it's got to the point now that there is absolutely no correlation between incomes and house prices.
There's no the only correlation that's left in the Western world is corruption versus everybody getting fucked.
Yes.
That's where I'm at in life, mate. There's just the corruption, and some of them are so stupid they don't even know that they're corrupt. Useful idiots.
But if you put forward something to save money and then they reject it and then
they want to go and lump it back onto the rate because it's not about fucking you. It's they want to go in the they want to go.
An example.
They want to go in the local paper. They want to have 50 photos of themselves going, look what I did. Look what I did. Justify my existence. I'm fucking special, and I'm so special.
I went to the Economic Development Committee meeting as an observer. So I'm not on the committee.
On the committee, yeah.
But I went as an observer on Tuesday afternoon after the Assets and Operations Committee meeting, in which I am a member of. And they introduced the draft of Temura's diversity, equity, and inclusion framework.
Fuck off.
Now,
just fuck off with your diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's bullshit.
But no, it's not. They talk about cost shifting from federal to state and state to local in terms of that. But this is cost creation. So this policy is in response to legislation introduced by the state government. So every council has to have one of these policies or plans.
Right. I'll write the policy for you, Mins.
I'm just picture this. We've got 128 or so councils in New South Wales. Wouldn't it have been easier for one person at the Office of Local Government to write the policy and say, here you go, here's your policy?
I'll write the policy for diversity, equity, inclusion. If you come here, fucking work,
but
join in, and you get merit-based treatment. Look, if you don't like merit-based treatment, fuck off or starve. I don't really care.
Listen to the stupidity of this. They will have benchmarks and they will have stuff that has to be in the plan. So what they then do is every single council goes and creates their own plan that has to have X, Y, and Z in it. So wouldn't it be just cheaper and easier to say, here's your plan, 128 copies, press, there you go. Well, and one person could do that. Instead, 128 councils go and recreate the wheel 128 times using 128 different consultants and 128 different meetings and 128, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
But that's cost creation. That is inventing work. And the majority of this stuff that we do at local government is very much a tool of the state government.
Of course.
And they put it forward as some idea that we determine our own destiny. However, the majority of the stuff that gets rolled out at council is a requirement of the state government.
Oh, it's social engineering bullshit being directed down,
So-
well and truly.
So even if we said we don't want a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, the state government says we have to have one. It's legislated. So go and spend some money, go and get a consultant, go and do all the work. And if it has to meet these criteria, or we won't approve.
Is there at least a summary there that I'm willing to look at? Because I'm not reading the entire document of some 38-page piece of shit.
Well,
Is there an introductory thing there that I'm going to not want to vomit when I look at? G'day, fellas from the Great Western Downs of Queensland. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Welcome aboard.
yeah, good on you.
Welcome
lads.
aboard.
I've heard of some people from New South Wales moving up to Queensland because at least hopefully putting up some sort of a resistance to the new
gun laws. Yeah, but then on the other side, the abortion laws he's rolled out made me want to punch him in the head. So
This,
2/10 of, you know.
this I don't have you a copy of this report yet.
Yep.
It's still in draft form. And
Fair.
it still has to go to council for approval before it gets released. But it'll be released, I expect. It'll be put on public exhibition as of the council meeting next Thursday. So after that, you can have a look through.
Okay, so next week we'll be reading it out, will we?
Yeah, we will, because we'll
Yeah,
have been to the council and it'll be either
Any organisation that has anything in it about diversity, equity, and inclusion is a communist shit show that needs to be abolished.
Well-
End of fucking story.
But also, there's another piece of paper that's come across the table, and it's a submission for the Riverina Murray Strategic Regional Integrated Transport Plan.
Fucking hell.
Now, but listen to this, and this is just part of it. Heavy vehicle alternate route. Hoskin Street forms the focal point of Temora Central Business District and functions as the community's primary retail, dining, and pedestrian precinct. Despite this place function, the street also operates as part of the regional and national freight network, carrying increasing volumes of heavy vehicles. The conflict between freight and place has created a significant and increasing risk to safety, amenity, and the local economy. Now, key issues include heavy vehicles travelling within the 50-kilometre speed limit still present significant stopping distance and blind spot risks to pedestrians and cyclists, in particular school children and elderly residents. Short-term mitigation may involve consideration of reduced speed limits to limit pedestrian vehicle conflict and improve safety within the township. So one option they're talking about in the main street is to slow everything down.
Of course.
Increased diesel emissions, noise and vibration impacting adjacent businesses and outdoor dining areas.
Well, that's what happens when you run semi-trailers down your main street.
Stock transport vehicles causing odour and hygiene concerns directly adjacent to food premises. Reduced attractiveness of the main street as a retail, hospitality and tourism destination. Community perception that the CBD is unsafe and unpleasant for pedestrian activity. Now, Council has advocated for a heavy vehicle alternate route, HVAR, for over 2 decades.
No, they've said they want one. Nobody's put forward
As
a plan
early
other
as
than you, as far as I
2003,
can tell.
Council formally approached the then Roads and Traffic Authority, seeking support to plan a bypass or alternate route. Despite ongoing discussions, no funded solution has progressed. So Temora Shire Council puts forward they seek partnership with Transport for New South Wales to plan, fund and deliver a heavy vehicle alternate route that removes heavy vehicles from Hoskin Street. Now, the chances of transport funding a significant and costly bypass around Temora, in my opinion,
You're allowed to have them. That's all right. I'll allow it.
0. Now, to that end, I put forward a proposal that would remove the heavy vehicles from the north-south Main Street the main CBD.
Yep.
Using the current road network and some extensions with the cooperation of some landowners.
Yep.
And I basically got howled down, thrown to the wolves, and vilified.
I do really excite me.
in not use having the temerity to suggest something so sensible and affordable.
I've put forward something that fits the budget
Yes.
and kind of will work. Will it be perfect? Not close.
Would you
But
believe?
compared to running the trucks down the main street and causing all of the aforementioned problems that you
Yeah.
have acknowledged
No.
very thoughtfully in your large, long-winded fucking document.
Yeah.
But we better not do that because
Would you believe?
Irvine put it forward.
Would you believe one of the comments that came forward was, if we do a too good a temporary measure, it may become the permanent measure.
Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid.
As opposed
So-
to 2 decades
so-
worth of waiting for
So
something to
let's
happen.
just leave the problems
Dumbass.
in place and hang out for the unicorn to arrive,
That's the epitome of government.
blowing rent out of its arsehole.
That's what they do.
Well, this is where I struggle because I'm a practical, pragmatic guy. And I still, for the life of me,
I'm not. I'm still a dreamer. I have hopes that government's going to
Oh,
fix stuff one day.
nah, well, that's, yeah. And
I'm perhaps a complete delusionist.
so,
Fucking morons.
but even to the point, we have not got a publicly
Hey.
shared vision of where this heavy vehicles bypass is going to go and a ballpark price.
Now, when I say something like fucking morons, right, I'm not aiming that at individuals because here's what happens. These individuals who are generally quite, you mentioned some of the skills and capabilities of these people. Paul Mullen was an excellent businessman.
Mm.
You know, like,
Mm.
and so he's not an imbecile. He's not a fucking.
No.
When they put all these groups of people in rooms together, they either lose their balls, lose their courage, lose their will to live, or just decide that they want to be part of the crowd because Paul Martin knows how to get shit done. He's got a lot of shit done in his life. He's
Well,
been quite a success.
He hasn't been part of any heavy vehicle.
No,
alternative
I'm
direct
just
discussions because he's a
saying.
new
So,
councillor,
but
but-
I'm saying as a general concept.
Yes.
I'm using Paul as an example
Yes.
because we've mentioned him
Yes.
before. I don't think he's a terrible bloke.
Yeah.
You know, I know what a success he's been. It's not an insult.
Mm.
But for some reason, these people who are quite competent will eventually put their hands up for a council role and the wind comes out of their sails. And all of a sudden, everything pragmatic that when they were in business or in real life that they would have fought for or stood for or thought was that's a sensible idea. All of a sudden, it goes out the window. And I don't think the people in Temora are in the Epstein files. I'm sure they've got their own fucking version of dodgy shit go on. But it breaks my heart a little bit. It's bloody sad. So when I collectively they all become fucking stupid for
I'll
some reason.
describe it like this. The perception in the community, 9, it's guaranteed when all of the pros and cons of a situation, they will make the best decision for the community.
Yes.
Well, they've been trying to get a heavy vehicle bypass in place for 30 years, and they're no closer now than they were when they started.
No, but you
Yes.
put forward a plan that would probably get them out of strife and make something
Yes,
happen.
and it was affordable.
Affordable, as opposed to, once again, cattle trucks driving down the
Yes.
main street
Now,
with
if you-
cows farting
and
and
it-
people having their lunch at the cafe.
Openly admit that there were some people who would have had some negative impacts. However, there's
As
compensation.
opposed to your entire street.
Well,
main
there's
street.
compensation that can be paid to those people. There's ways to mitigate some of these situations.
Yeah.
Like I say, nothing's ever perfect. And whenever you're making a
Speak for
decision,
yourself.
whenever you're making a decision, a leadership decision, you try and make a decision that benefits the majority and minimise the negative.
Yeah, of course. That's
But change requires doing something different, and doing something different is going to be uncomfortable. Now, the longer we leave something as important as this, the more that will occur, and
it becomes
the
simple to
benefits
plan.
there are. So,
Yeah.
so all of a sudden we get to the point where we've got to go 30 k's around the place.
Yeah. It's a self-fulfilling fuck up is what it is.
Well, the sooner you do
that's the correct culinary
sooner
term
you-
for it.
the sooner you take the pain, the sooner you get over it. The sooner you
Everyone moves on. There's
Well-
five people who go, yeah, well, I don't like that shit. That's what happened, you know.
But you've got to take the pill.
Yeah, absolutely. At some point, we have to go through a bit of pain. Spencer here.
Yes.
I'm just going to. So, if there's one person on the planet you want to have a beer with, it's Dean. You belly laugh every time. Funniest bloke. Appreciate that, Spencer. Now, here's a little thing that I've had to throw out because you're not the only bloke that suggested this in recent times. It's become a bit of a thing, having a beer with Dean. Now, for those of you who know my history, right, which I've never run away from it, I've never shied from it, but you get the people who really hate me who love to come out with the article going, Dean, no shit, dickheads. I've never hidden it, never backed away from it, never certainly celebrated anything of the
Well,
sort.
it's certainly widely, it was widely reported in the local community.
It was on the front page of the Wagga paper of all things. You know, the largest inland city in Australia. They'd like to shut me up. Good luck to you. But here's what I've done because they like to do it, and because I'm a bit of a douchebag when upsetting people who don't like me, and I don't have any feelings for people who hate me. I think we've been far too nice to the fuckwit class for far too long. You know, I think we've just copped it on the chin. We've put up with their cancel culture. We've put up whatever bullshit they come out with. Well, I've designed a bit, and it's going in production of the little partnership with a boutique label.
Nice.
And I've called it, because I'm a funny fucker, Spencer, you're on the money, Dean's Unleashed Intensity. Now, what does that acronym stand for? DUI. Right. So, again, to those people, I understand what I did. I understand I made any mistakes in my life. But when you fuckers think you're going to come gunning at me and that's your only weapon of war, I'll own that bitch and I'll slap you with it. So it's going to be available. I'm working on a bit of a timeline. We're doing some tastings. We're doing all this sort of stuff. And we're just going to roll out some literal cases of beer. Obviously, you'll be able to buy them. I'm not going to shout everybody literal cartons of beer, but we'll whack a logo on them. We'll get them sent out to wherever you are. I haven't worked out the prices yet, but it's going to be fun. Oh. And again, to those people in the middle, fuck you. Yep. Have a nice day and kiss my ass. Now, so thanks for your support, Spencer. Good man. Now, Terry here's from Grenfell. Appreciate that, brother. And we've got... here in Queensland from Stringy Bark Yarns. The Liberals have just approved the Taroom oil shelf in the Western Downs to start drilling again. Hasn't been done since the 80s. Again, thank Christ, they've got to do something. We need the power. Bills are going up 20%. And apparently we've got the best natural resources in the world, but we've got to send ourselves broke somehow because we have the dumbest fucks in the world somewhere near the top.
This is the thing. Albo's trying to bring manufacturing back to Australia, but here we are with the highest power prices in the world.
Yeah, he's a retard. There's no if, buts, maybes about that. Again, I'm not being polite to any of these fucking jackasses anymore. It's done.
Okay, so we've touched on the fact that the only person who's put up any sort of viable, achievable proposal for a heavy vehicle bypass that could be afforded by anyone has been vilified and poleaxed in the local press and, made a bit of a scapegoat for it all. But I don't shy away from the fact that's my proposal. There's another 8 councillors out there that you haven't heard boo out of. Go and ask them what their proposal is. Get them to put their proposal in the public.
Absolutely. And that's the bit where I think where things are starting to change, develop, grow, is that more and more people are taking notice, offering alternatives, but more and more people out there in the world are going, hang on, these fuckers like you and I, they're right. Why haven't they put it's very easy to say, that's a dumb idea. It's an alternative. And starting to get to the point where they're going to go, I want to know.
Yes. But
Mr. Mayor, you've given us 28 pages of bullshit. What's the alternative?
Speaking of that, for anyone who's a new viewer, we've got a little
regular segment. So the Hit Job Herald, this is one of the newspapers that I would never buy again. But we like to read it here because these jackasses picked a bit of a fight with us with their former editor for a couple of years.
And again, my philosophy on the local newspaper is this. I believe that small communities really do benefit from having a locally produced newspaper. However, I believe that newspapers are a little bit like hotels. And anyone familiar with hotels will know that occasionally they'll have a dickhead publican, and that could be the editor. So, and then you'll have a good publican. So the place is really great. And then, you know, you get a dickhead publican again and the place is really shit. But when it's all said and done, they're only caretakers of what is inherently a community facility. And you're better off with it than without it.
These days, I look at it again. I've got the news,
For example, if there was a good editor came and actually took the reins of the Temora Independent and actually published some of the stuff that is real news in the area and some of the hard questions, then seriously, it'd be a great.
That's
It'd be a great thing.
that's like
So-
saying that we had a good prime minister.
No,
you
no,
show me one with
we
it.
have had good.
Who?
No.
Oh, the best say prime ministers.
No.
I was saying the best one we've had is Harold Holt.
Now, one thing that we do is regularly we go through the paper and we just tally up how many appearances our illustrious mayor makes in a photographic form in each
Oh, dick pics. Oh, Rick pics.
Rick picks
Rick pics.
in each issue. Now it's released once a week. Now they're putting up the price shortly.
I fucking had a look at that earlier. $3 for this ridiculous bullshit.
Anyway, we'll just have a little quick tally.
And I
So-
do hold a grudge. Yeah, for those who ever fancy my shit.
Two. Nothing on page 2. One on page 3. So we're up to 3. So we're running at one per page.
One per page,
Then we hit page 4.
which it looks like there's a bit of a party going on there. I can.
And there's none. Cut 2 on page 5. We've kept our one per
And
page.
I did notice the illustrious Gary Lavelle's come out of retirement and he showed up to an event. That's lovely.
One on page 6. So we're still batting. Oh, actually,
7.
he's gone up. So he's running it better than one per page. He's on 7 appearances at page 6 and again on page 7. So he's 8 appearances in 7 pages. Now this is really shaping up to be.
It's one of the stronger performances in recent times.
It is. Now
Feral pigs are still. No, sorry, that's a different
he
one.
drops off there and he drops off there. So the averages slip back to 8 out of 9. And then we get into the Coolman
And
stuff.
the Coolman
And he
papers. Yeah,
hasn't dominated over
he
it.
hasn't managed.
So he's back to 8 out of 9.
Original shirt.
8 out of 12.
Isn't it?
He
You got
won't be knows. He won't. He's not
what?
there.
The TV guide.
He's slipping back, but he's still. It's a very
Now
respectable.
we're moving into the sports section.
It's very
Fuck's sake.
respectable. 8 appearances.
Isn't that your adorable wife there playing golf?
Yeah, she's a great golfer. She loves her golf, and yep, she's a
It seems
lovely.
to me like a wonderful way to ruin a good walk. But anyway,
she loves her golf.
yeah, fair
She's
cool.
one of these freaky people who hasn't been playing that long, but she's already got a solid. So
Yeah,
move point for a fisher. You know?
but what can tell you Rick Hicks in a
8 now.
2-page newspaper?
I will go as far as to say I do not believe there is a single individual in Temora who would have been photographed more.
Oh fuck, God.
Would you back that up?
And then I'd have to answer the question: does that mean from that result there, the other 8 councillors in council literally did fucking nothing?
Well,
Because where are they? I mean, I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't be photographed an awful lot. What I'm saying is, why is the mayor photographed 8 times in a shitty little 3-page rag? And
Well,
no one can make people do anything. They do.
have you
Is that
met
what
the
goes-
new
No,
Noel Fisher?
I haven't met Noel Fisher.
Noel Fisher's got a camera and he's not afraid to use it.
I still haven't met the fucking editor that was calling us out all that
Noel
time
Fisher-
because he ran and
Noel
ducked that one
Fisher's
night we're
camera.
in the same room.
Noel's camera is like this. It's
It's a big camera.
a big camera.
Size matters.
And Noel isn't afraid to use it. And when he pulls his camera out, he's got a
He's got
willing,
this bloke in an Akuba that does a somersault back, fucking doing run it.
a willing spec.
Pick me, man, you fucking 14-year-old girl doing TikTok videos.
You've seen
Fuck.
You've seen. I haven't got it at hand, but some of those great ones where he's doing the pose.
Yeah. Look, fuck. And I get a certain amount of it, but you self-professional, so I make videos or whatever.
Yes.
But, you know, I put them on my page. You can like them. If you don't fucking watch. That's an actual community. Well, it's a business. It's a community newspaper. It's a.
But
Once upon a time,
dominated by one individual.
once upon a time, they were respected journalistic outlets.
I would have had to cover in Sydney,
Fuck
and
no.
it's particularly challenging for the Liberal leadership.
Isn't that a waste of time?
Well,
They might as well put a ham sandwich in charge of that joint. Shut the fucking gate. It's the most useless, corrupt shit show at its best. Doesn't do what it says on the box. Hasn't done for 25 years. And for some reason, they're still fighting over the ashes. All three of those dickheads that are vying for the top job
if I didn't
are a
know,
waste of complete
if I didn't know
space.
better though, I'd say a Temora Shire Council election was next week.
What, with 8 photos in
Like,
there? Jesus.
Can you imagine the saturation bombing that is going? Like, we're still, the next council elections are in September 2028.
That's a fair way off. That's around the time the next federal election's on.
Can you imagine? So we've still got all the 26, all the 27, and recall 28.
It's a little lag. So we need a guy who's going to help us solve
I think we're about 10 lengths in front of Temora Shire Council's production standards.
with
However,
half the budget too. I would
we're
might
running
bet.
on a limited bandwidth just because we're running wirelessly, and we've just got to put a hard cable in so we can get all of our electronic goods.
Well, it'll come. It'll come.
Anyway, that's so. One of the things. So I've still got a significant period of time, and one of the things that I actually really do want to rattle the cage on a bit this term of council is getting something out in the public as a recognised proposal for this heavy vehicle route.
Yeah.
So at the very least, when council are considering things such as future land use planning, all sorts of things, where a subdivision might go, whatever, and where the community are considering certain things, at least we've got a bit of a line drawn on the, scratched onto the map as to where this heavy vehicle route might go. You know what I mean? Just as a first step.
It's just
If
going
I could get a agreed, confirmed heavy vehicle bypass preferred route communicated to the community by the end of this term of council, I will see that as a successful term.
yeah.
Now, the other thing that is coming like a train, and I'm really sorry to all you people out there, is this talk of a special rate variation. So lube yourselves in.
It should be readily available if that is in jail.
Mm.
Should be able to get some
But
baby oil and you
it's-
fucking just lube up and get ready to get fucking raped violently.
And
Assume the position. I don't have any good news for you in that space.
I will be
It's gonna hurt.
advocating for whatever cost savings we can have, but I'm telling you, I'll give you an example. I put in a Freedom of Information request, which is a GIP request, Information Public Access request. Now,
Excellent tool if you are looking to get information
Now,
out of local governments.
the officer in charge of that came back to me and said, "You've asked for a lot of information. If we were to provide that and we were to charge you X amount per hour, it'd cost $1,300. And I said, okay.
So the invoice, we'll get it done.
Okay. So then when they've made the decision, they've said, we believe that this is an unreasonable burden on council's resources to provide this information. Now, as part of that process, I have the right of review. So I can take that to NCAT and have NCAT review that. Now, instead of council just simply going and getting the information and being paid for the time it takes to get it, so there's zero, fair enough, there's a staff member that has to go and do that. Well, you know, if you can get consultants, you can get someone to come in part-time and pay them to collect it because it's as a job, one job.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find some fucking
A project.
teenager, just whatever.
But instead, council have resisted the print of that information purely on the basis that it's a unreasonable demand on council's resources, even though I've agreed to pay the cost. Now, council have engaged law firm Lindsay Taylor Lawyers in Sydney to represent them in this matter.
Lindsay
Now,
Taylor for lawyers seem to make an awful lot of money out of Temora.
well, Lindsay Taylor Lawyers are from 420, I think it's 420 George Street in Sydney. So I don't think they work very deep. I don't know. but they're specialist government law firms.
Just costs. No wonder we need a special rate variation
So,
to pay for all these.
I
wankers.
don't know what the costs are going to be to council to defend this unreasonable burden on council.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me that they're going to spend a ton more not finding information. It would have that in itself,
Unsurprising, though.
but but that's because the object of the aim of the Local Government Act, the Public Information, the Government Information Public Access Act, is that all government information is public access unless they can demonstrate a public interest against the release of that information.
Yeah.
Now, saying that it's an unreasonable demand on council's resources and then going and spending significantly more on the defence of that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Like, I cannot comprehend that position. If what I was asking was going to cost $50,000 and it cost them $10,000 to defend that, then I can understand that.
Yeah.
But when it's going to cost them to defend a $2,000 cost,
Well, they could just fucking stop hiding information and answer the fucking questions.
but realistically, can you see the
Stop hiding shit, and they don't have to worry about any of
but
this.
can you see the fundamental flaw in that position?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a real problem with that. Fortunately, we'll go to NCAT. I'll argue my case. I'll put forward the reasons that I believe I should be entitled to that information. I'll be very happy to tell the member at NCAT that I have offered to pay the fee,
$1,300 that you
fee quoted
quoted.
by council to provide the information, and council have opted not to provide it, and they've opted to potentially
Thousands of dollars on lawyers.
potentially pay significantly more. I would imagine that it costs them more than what it would cost to provide the information just to get the.
Get the solicitor to read the fucking thing.
Yes. So that's a really sad state of affairs, and there's a few of these, and they're really important matters, and it's not good enough, I don't think. But anyway, I'll keep informed of
Keep you in the loop.
progress. So the first matter is getting heard in the first stage is a case conference scheduled for the 2nd of March. And there's some other matters that are coming down the pipe. But it's all pretty solid, meaty information that all deals with a lot of really important stuff. So as it comes to hand,
We'll just share it, put it out there, yeah.
keep you guys updated. And
And so for those of you guys in Queensland and places like that that are sort of going, hang on a minute, we're a little bit out of the loop or we're fairly new to the space, this program started out clearly as a community radio show. I don't know if I was banned or I was quit, really. I was given some ultimatums, told them to shove their ultimatums up their ass. The ultimatums involved
I
this
think
guy.
you beat him to the punch. You quit.
I just said, fuck off. Don't tell me what to do, I think was the email. I think it was a summary of the email. But the general gist, so for you guys that aren't quite in the know what's going on, that's what it was. This guy was banned from coming on local community radio while being an elected local councillor. And what was the other one? I was told that I wasn't allowed to talk about local political issues.
Yeah.
So I responded with, go fuck yourself. And I know how to drive the internet a little bit. So this is how this program come up. So we do still, Councillor Irvine uses this platform way so the locals are informed with stuff that probably
I
is
use this platform to
Howard, good to see you,
combat
brother.
misinformation.
Yeah.
And to inform the community and give the community a different take on the way some things are put forward to the community by the members of the council or just a different,
people in the club. We've got our own local club
a
here.
different perspective. For example, the Temora Independent are at the point now, and
There's nothing independent about them.
I haven't
fucking hit
I haven't seen their financial figures, but I would hazard to guess that Temora Shire Council is their biggest, if not their biggest, a very significant contributor to the income stream of the Temora
I'll
Independent.
absolutely say that if Temora Shire Council didn't spend X amount of dollars with them per week,
For
month, year,
anyone who doesn't have
that
the
paper
pleasure,
would be bankrupt.
for anyone who doesn't have the pleasure of reading the Temora Independent, they're at the point now where Temora Shire Council will give them a media release, and the Temora Independent will print it verbatim and will sign it Temora Shire Council. So they are basically giving council free access to their
Free
platform.
editorial, yeah, that's right.
And they are contributing complete articles. They're not being edited. They're not being
checked. They're not being arranged.
They're
just,
basically just being.
Here you go. This is what we've been told. Therefore, it's been printed as fact, whether
And
it is or it
signed
isn't.
Temora Shire Council.
Which is very hard to sign. How does an entity sign anything?
Well, that's where it generates from. So
that's where that all came from. In other news, I understand a heap of subpoenas are rolling out locally on a little issue that I'm a little bit fucking in on. I'm quite happy to see that sort of push forward. And I'm just going to make it very, very clear here. I've made it clear on most of my other platforms today. So again, for those of you not local who don't know, it's still a matter before the courts. But somebody certainly very close in my periphery, I would consider her well and truly under my, well, certainly if you're going to fuck around with her now, you're going to find out with me. And this kid hasn't lied once. The story hasn't gotten bigger. There's no embellishment. So when kids lie, and I'm not an expert in that, but the stories get bigger or better, or they try and make it more colourful when they think you don't believe them. This hasn't happened.
Adults do it too.
Fuck adults do it too, particularly scared kids. Now, I've seen people or come across people in this community, and I've seen the lies. The outright fucking lies about this child.
I've evidenced quite a few of those, but not in this context, but in other contexts.
Yeah. And I'm just making it very, very fucking clear to anybody that I catch lying in the space, anybody I catch victimising this fucking child, anybody who's going to change the story, perhaps, is character witness the right word? Let's just say everybody's on fucking notice that I will be running my really, really big mouth if this kid's victimised for something that she hasn't done wrong. So far, she hasn't done wrong. And when one of the statements in and around that space was, it's not like he raped her, please be aware that I'll be fucking gunning for everybody. And it'll be gloves off, and you can hate me. I don't give a flying fuck. There will be no stone unturned in me making your lives shit. Okay, so just wanted to put that out there again because, we like to be clear and transparent.
Well, what was it? A community notice board? Really? A public
service announcement, yeah?
Service announcement.
So just be fucking aware.
So you've been served.
That if there is any fucking bullshit, and be aware. There are people who've had conversations with me, with me present, which, if you're going to do that, make sure you got a real fucking good memory when you start telling lies. Who have then changed their story. Oh, no. It's like, I was there with you when you fucking said. So I would either retract, come out and say, I lied, I fucked up, I whatever, or you stick to your original fucking guns. I will protect you if you're sticking to the truth. But if you're not, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Oh, you're in no man's land if you
Yeah. And it's me, so I won't be, winding back on that one at all.
Now, this is completely unrelated to that particular issue, but one thing that has blown me away in the past month is the amount of reports of pedophiles being exposed everywhere.
Oh, look, fuck, rock spiders are a fucking dime a dozen.
But the amount, there was one there the other day that I just read a news article on of a high-profile judge who had apparently taken the opportunity to end the matter himself.
I know there's a high-profile barrister. Yes, and there was, in recent times, a doctor down in Wodonga. There was a former police officer, and it is an awkward thing. And, in my little 3-minute videos, I try to, touch on issues and whatever. I'm not a man of faith. I don't know where you stand on that. Everybody's each to their own kind of thing, right? But I'm not. I've had some influential people. You need to be a Christian and great blah 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 for the movement and blah, blah. And other message me who go, Dean, you swear too much. I can't share you. And I kind of listen. If your Christian faith heroes were doing their fucking job, I wouldn't exist. To be fair, if they were there holding everybody account and pulling rank and landing these shots, I wouldn't be here. I'd be quite happily drinking Dean's Label beer with my family. We'd be doing fun stuff
And you'd be safe.
Oh yeah, everything would be good, right? But unfortunately, your hardcore Christian heroes seem to be failing you. That's not on me, and I put my hand up saying I want the job. I've just put my hand up saying I'm not going to cop the shit. Now, where I'm starting to get a bit blurry in the lines is when you hear about satanic cults and things like that.
That was pretty heavy.
This is massive, right? It's massive, and conspiracy theorists, friends of mine. I've done a line. I knows about talking about a lot. But because I'm not a man of faith, I don't have this great big God and Jesus versus the devil type. It's not grilled into me in the same way, I guess. So I just look at it and go, they're a bunch of cockheads who need to be flattened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that spiritual side of it. I don't understand how you can be such a fuckwit.
But that's what I mean. But when you're that depraved and you are taking such terrible advantage of people unable to protect themselves, I think it is poignant in your existence where you go, oh, you know what, there is evil.
Well, that's why I'm coming to this awkward position. Like I've never tried to be goody-goody. I'm a bit of a bad boy to a degree. I do wild shit.
But you're not.
But
I
think children need to be protected.
Yes, and there are people out there who are, in my opinion, evil. I think evil does exist.
I'm getting more and more to the point that they're words that I'm adding my vernacular, because I've never used words like evil and good, because I just go, most people fuck ups in various capacities. Yeah. But these people are sick,
and
twisted,
they're protected,
dead shits, and they're protected, and they're part of these clubs. And somehow, and this is, I guess, the part for the large majority of average Aussies and average Westerners, is trying to reconcile the fact that these people are, not only are they such fuckwits, they're such predators, but they've also convinced themselves that this Satan, Lucifer, what was the other one? Moloch, Balrog, these motherfuckers there's a whole gang of these lunatics, and they're praying to them, and they're doing all these horrible things. And that's arguably part of the justification. And most of us go, bullshit, that's out of a movie. But it's real.
There were charges included in that list of charges. I think there were charges of bestiality.
There's charges of bestiality. There's charges of, kiddie porn, pedophilia, kiddie torture, all this sort of shit. One of the emails from a sultan to this Jeffrey Epstein in recent days has come out. Thank you for the torture video. I very much enjoyed it. These people are sick bucks.
But there was a ring that was exposed in Australia unconnected to the Epstein.
Yeah, and a former police officer was a member of that. A property manager out of, Bondi, wherever the fuck. I did a little... I took photos of them from ABC News. I use ABC News with those sort of things because the lefties can't fucking argue with it and defend them. They can't go, oh, that's misinformation, that's Fox News, that's bullshit. I use ABC because that's kind of their thing. And as much as ABC should be fucking abolished, defunded at the very least, I find that that's a good way to balance that little act. These people are fucked.
And it's the thing that I can't deal with in some respects is that society rolls through that as part of the news stream, when realistically every person in Australia should be plenty out.
Everyone should be pissed off, and we should be skull dragging these fuckers out of buildings
and just absolutely supercharging the wood chippers.
Fucking A. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm happy. I'll run the machine. I'll force for feet first, smiling at them as they're going in. But back
to that. Yes,
that particular case. And then we go back to, again, to all my long-term conspiracy theorist friends. In saying that, a lot of you guys sort of, new to the space after COVID woke a lot of people up to some of this shit. And again, the Bill Heffernan interview about the 28 names on a list.
Well, that was actually
it was a Woodrow Commission. There are some people, and again, Some people would say Justice Wood was part of that club. Hence why they shut the files. They didn't come back after lunch. They sealed the files for 20 years because the argument was the same bullshit argument Pam Bondi rolled out the other day, that if the general public knew the level of deception, corruption, seedy motherfucker behaviour, we would lose complete and utter faith in the system.
But I think it's by default. This is I grew up, Mum was a staunch Catholic.
Yep.
So she dragged us along to church every week. And after becoming aware of all of the allegations of moving priests on after
Kitty fiddling shit within
and
the
covering
space.
it up and then not taking responsibility for it and not trying to hide it, I lost faith in that organisation.
Yeah.
So I've always then battled to have any respect for that. There's good people who are involved in it, but the overarching theme is if you can't at a high level acknowledge what went on and then take responsibility for it, then I can't support it.
Yeah.
There's other people out there who have got a different approach to that, and they've forgiven them and they accept it as a blot on the copybook, but I can't roll with that. But you can see people are screaming out and they want some meaning in their life.
Yeah.
And they do, because when it's all said and done, look, I've got a really basic low-level perception on this. You're born, you live, you die.
Yes.
It's over in a heartbeat. But there's people that you come across in your life who are terrific people and they help others and they make the trip easier.
Yeah.
And then there's disgusting, evil people who go out of their way to take more than their share and do terrible things to people, and they make the trip harder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the people that
Should be skull dragged. Absolutely.
So it's pretty basic. That's a pretty basic sort of, the trip's the trip. If you make it easy for people, yay. If you make it bad for people, no.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, you're right. The top meaning.
you won't get it out of money. You won't get it out of speedboats, or you'll get a little chubby, but it won't fill the void.
No.
Doing something good for someone and helping someone in a human sense is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Having meaningful relationships with your family and your friends and helping people out and being solid and being a good person is what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been put under immense pressure over the breakdown in my relationship with a lot of people at Temora Shire Council.
Yeah.
And in some respects, I've done really well to still be successful, functioning, viable business person.
Yeah.
Respecting the community, even though it probably really pisses people off that I've weathered the storm.
Of course.
And
Thrived in spite of.
walked through the accusations, and I have spent periods in the wilderness. But I think if you keep walking through it and you keep putting the truth in front of people, eventually it wins out.
Well, it seems to be. At the moment, I think there's a fair amount of sunlight landing on things that previously wouldn't have. I feel cops probably more, not say locally, more. Well, there are cops in there who are going, I'm here to do a really fucking good job. And not so much allowing things to be brushed under the carpet. Or I can imagine that's the only way that a satanic pedophile cult would have been exposed and uncovered to the degree that it was. There's obviously some good cops in there who are going, no, this isn't going to fucking fly. fuck off. And it's a very awkward situation, you know, like every organisation has dead set scumbags. I don't care which
Oh,
organisation it is.
I've said to you before, I've come across some pretty rank things, and I can't find someone in the local government space to actually take them on and prosecute them.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest disappointment for me. I've got stuff that's obviously correct in any way.
Yeah.
However, there's people who just pretend it never happened, or they just don't want to talk about it, or they turn around and it's anyway. Like I say, we won't get too deep into that.
So big stretch here is mentioned disgusting topics, the amount of used syringes being left around Temora. Major drug problem that needs cleaning up. I can't say I've run into any, but I spend most of my time, to be fair, either on the road or in Wagga and other places running around.
Yeah, well, offline, give us a tip as to where it's happening, and I'll bring it up in the council channels, and hopefully.
So I'll try and do something about it. Obviously, people are pretty tough. And there's a lot of people who are in a lot of pain.
Well, there's a lot of people getting cast aside. There's a lot of people who feel like they're getting run over by a massive big steamroller.
The world's destroying people left, right, and centre. I'm not obviously endorsing. I'm just saying that I'm starting to have a little more empathy in some circles than what I had, because I'm wanting this government to just destroy people.
Oh,
I'm seeing people more of you reach out to me.
there's people
I guess it's really,
working really hard on backwards.
mate, I've had people message me going, you know, I was killing myself last year. I've lost this. I've done that. My message inbox has become really unusual. Well, I guess unusual, unexpected. You know, and I have a feeling that the world's hurting a fucking awful lot more than even I realised.
Some of my most rewarding experiences in council have been representing people who've been bullied or mistreated or weren't being heard, having their matters dealt with properly and through persistence, and then having them. I've achieved some really good outcomes for some people that were being really treated really poorly.
Yeah.
And they know who they are. And it's been a pleasure
to
help
them out.
That's the stuff. And that's the thing, I can appreciate what they're going through, because I've gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's good to be able to use that experience and understand it, and then offer support to people, and it just helps them navigate the process and helps them come out the other side of it.
And it's a process designed to be complicated and difficult and challenging.
And bullying.
Oh, fuck, absolutely.
It's a terrible, disgusting process, and people can basically just ignore really blatant breaches of what you would call just common goodness.
Decency, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, the wrong thing happens sometimes, but there's a big difference. Intent matters.
Look,
Intent matters.
I'm not going to convince anyone that I'm frigging special. I've got as many marks against my file as anyone.
Fuck.
I've had the fingers rolled through the ink.
Yeah.
I did silly things. I've done silly things when I was young.
I did plenty of silly things. Arguably, people think I'm doing some now, but, you know, like, the reality of it is, I like to think I put more positive out for people than negative. I like to.
That's probably how we can resonate with people who haven't had it all their own way, because we are quite happy to our fight. Yeah, look, I'll tell you straight up, but there's sort of certain things that are interesting, even with the breakdown of the relationship with the council. They have got 20 odd years of performance there of working for them, and they can't find a single instance where I might not have delivered what I got paid for, or
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no, and that's just testament to turn up and just
turn up and do what you got to do, and do it to the best of your ability. If something goes wrong, you own it and you fix it.
Yeah, move on. Your expectation, and just how much for this job? This much, and then you go do it and you paid that much. It's that simple. That's my expectation. I haven't tried to get more out of it than what was actually there in the beginning.
Yep.
And that's something that they that's something that's carried me through in the community, and I enjoy great support in the community. And you know, they can say what they like. There's people who actually know me and interact with me and have dealt with me for a long period of time, and their reality. The
nasty rumours that are rolled out by a few people who had their feelings because you call that bullshit.
yeah, and it's the longer it goes and the more the lies beget lies beget lies. And it just
You got to have a real good memory though if you're going to be a lying ass.
well, and you don't want to write anything down.
yeah,
And when you've got
definitely not.
stuff written down and you've done silly things and it's all on paper, it's pretty hard to.
Well, it's the front page of the paper, depending on where
Yes.
you are.
Well, take for example that wonderful front page where the Temora Independent with the headline, Minister chooses council over Irvine.
Oh, yeah.
And then goes on to tell this big story. And even though not referred to by name, there was little doubt that the minister's referring to the recalcitrant councillor, referring to myself. Well, I sent a copy of that
to said
to the
minister.
Now, disappointed that for the awful government to respond, but the response,
That's bullshit.
none of the comments uttered by the minister were directed at the individual.
Yes.
So
lies. Oh, fucking lies.
yes, and that's it. And so the independent are sitting there with direct evidence of their own lies.
Yeah.
Or they can say now that the minister's lying. But
Tell you people, you both of those things can't be true.
They
on
can't
that
exist at the
particular.
same
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
they can't exist simultaneously. One has to yield. So take your pick tomorrow independent.
Rick, so.
Mm.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're out for an hour and a half, and guys don't know, we have to go to about an hour and 20 minutes because the program we use will do AI clips for me, and I don't have to edit them myself because I haven't got time to shit. If we go over an hour and 20, if we go under an hour and 20, I've got to edit the little son of
Maybe
bitches
the
myself.
Rain Corporation might make a machine to
Maybe, fucking hell. Perhaps. So that's why we always push out to at least the hour 20. There have been episodes where we've gone far beyond that. And there's been the odd episode where we've tried to ram it through a bit quicker. Really just depends on where we're at in life. But thank you all for tuning in. We love you guys, even the ones who don't like us very much. We love you anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll be here next Thursday night, 7:30. As always, you can follow Councillor Anthony Irvine on Councillor Anthony Irvine.
Stand Up for Tomorrow.
Stand Up for Tomorrow. You find the links through my Facebook page. Or
And I don't
Anthony's
post
Facebook
much,
page.
but if I find something that's relative, pertinent, important, worth sharing,
Jump on there. Jump on Councillor Carolyn White's page at the moment. She's going all guns blazing and having some challenges with dickhead Dan Andrews' mates. And she's all off there. So I've got quite a few pages for various things, but the Dean McRae Spirit of Self-Determination is the one currently
the
getting
big
the
breaking
most.
news in the local government space is this performance improvement order, the pending performance improvement order getting issued to Shoalhaven Council over the hiring of their new CEO, who's Andrew Constant, who used to be a Liberal.
He was a Liberal member of Parliament, yes.
And it seems funny that we've got a Labor government who are questioning the appointment of this individual and Labor councillors and the whole. It smacks of a witch hunt to me, but
Well, they're all in fucking bed together,
I'll
so
be
I don't know
interested
who
to hear.
Constance is up there.
I'll be interested to hear the outcome of it all.
Oh, look, it's always very interesting to work out who's going to skip away with what and who's got which bag of gold.
Yes.
Who has which stolen money with them when they
Well, it's a
run.
bit like when they declared that Eddie Obeid didn't have to give back his 31 million. So
Oh, of course not. No, fuck it. Oh, look, I do a couple months in jail, 31 million. I reckon I could tough that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much. We'll talk soon, and no doubt we'll have a few updates and a few snippets rolling out and all the fun stuff and all my usual rants that I'm rolling out. Are they rants or sermons, whatever you want to call them?
from the mount.
From the mount, the pulpit. Righto, guys, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.